Right now, you're not overlooked because you're untalented. You're overlooked because you're useful. Useful is cheap. Useful is everywhere. Useful gets thanked. Powerful gets paid. You've been trained to be available, responsive, agreeable, someone who can be counted on. And so they count on you. Count on you to answer late. Count on you to fix what they broke. Count on you to save the day for free. They don't do this because they're cruel. They do it because you taught them the price of you is zero. Machiavelli understood this in palaces where smiles hid knives. Power didn't belong to the most generous. It belonged to the most scarce. The court adored the fountain that never ran dry, and then ignored it. They arranged their days around the one door that didn't always open. Scarcity bent the room. Kindness without edges became furniture. That's your problem. You think respect is earned through usefulness. Usefulness without scarcity is servitude. Servitude is predictable. Predictable is replaceable. Replaceable is cheap. So here is the first cut of truth. You are paid in proportion to the friction it would take to replace you and the cost of losing you. Not the hours you log, not the smiles you harvest. The friction and the cost. If both are low, your value is low, no matter how helpful you are. The law of scarcity is brutal and simple. Availability writes price. Familiarity erases edge. Oversupply invites disrespect. You don't need to become colder to become scarce. You need to become controlled. Controlled access, controlled delivery, controlled narrative. Scarcity is a system, not a mood. A posture that refuses to be rented by panic, praise, or guilt. Say it again, slower, like a verdict. Now we build the scaffolding that makes it real. There are 5 levers of scarcity. Pull them and the room recalibrates without a speech. Lever 1, access. Right now, anyone can reach you in any channel at any hour. That is why they do. So you become the corridor. 2 windows a week, published, predictable. Everything else is closed. You don't explain why. You announce whether. Openings are Tuesday at 2 or Thursday at 10. No signer, no meeting, no deposit, no calendar. Reschedules move to the back of the line. Rush exists, but it is a tax, not a favor. Speed is available at the rush rate. Every exception you grant becomes law in their mind. So you price exceptions or you schedule them. You never squeeze someone in to feel necessary. Neediness sells off your throne for a thank you. That soft yes is how entire weeks vanish. Scarcity talks in edges. That's phase 2 or an add-on. Stop over-delivering in the same window. Deliver exactly what you promised, exactly when you promised, and stop. If you want to exceed, exceed in the next paid phase. Exceeding inside the current scope trains entitlement, not reverence. Every extra task you swallow without a price lowers your future rate by the quietest percentage you'll never see. Lever 3, tempo. Useful people respond instantly. Powerful people control tempo. Tempos are frames. Frames decide whose reality becomes default. You will slow by a third when pressed. Your exhale will start the sentence, not panic. Your pitch will drop by a note. Your sentences will cut to 7 words or fewer. Rush rate or standard date. Silence after the line is a bill. Let them pay it with discomfort instead of your breath. Predators don't flutter, they measure. Your tempo is your signature of self-respect. Lever 4, information. You've been narrating your process to feel useful. You walk them through everything to prove competence. All you prove is that you're a free library. Information without payment is a leak. Scarcity closes the valve. We discuss goals, constraints, and budget. If they won't name the number, they aren't ready for the process. You are not a museum of explanations. Your blueprint is part of your product. Stop giving it away to feel alive. Lever 5. Identity. You believe usefulness is virtue. It is for servants. You have to betray the approval that usefulness buys you. Accept the accusation. That's the point. Identity is choreography under heat. 5 behaviors brand your scarcity without a logo. Exhale before you speak. Low pitch, shorter lines. 2 windows only. Deposit before calendar. Endings enforced. Endings teach faster than beginnings. And on time and scope when it's hit. End meetings when the law gets mocked. A clean ending creates more respect than 20 minutes of defense. Good. Upset is evidence that access had value. The first pushback is a withdrawal symptom. You train them to expect free oxygen. They're reacting to the air finally costing something. Keep your hand steady. Deny the reflex to explain. Explanations turn scarcity into a negotiation. Let's carve out the scripts that carry you when your courage is still waking up. They are the new bones of your voice. When lowballed, we can reduce scope to match your number or keep scope at my rate. When baited for free process, we discuss goals, constraints, budget. When small tweak appears, that's phase 2 or an add-on. When late night urgency lands in your lap, speed is available at the rush rate. When interrupted publicly, that's incorrect. The decision stands. If it happens twice, we're off mission. When someone asks for a quick favor, I don't do unscoped work. Tuesday at 2 or Thursday at 10. Notice the geometry. Short, final, binary. Scarcity doesn't apologize. Scarcity doesn't over-explain. Scarcity isn't rude, it's precise. You still want to be liked. Because is a bribe you pay to be allowed to be clear. Burn it. Your law doesn't need a backstory. Here's the inversion that rewires this permanently. Stop trying to be indispensable to them. Become expensive to mishandle. Indispensable people get owned. Expensive people get respected. The court praises the servant's heart, then schedules over it. The court rearranges itself around the scarce presence, the one door that does not always open, the one wall that does not move. Good. Scarcity makes generosity meaningful. If everything is free, nothing is a gift. You will become generous by schedule, not on demand. You will give away a product you built for that purpose, at a time you chose, to someone who honors your law. Generosity without a treasury is bankruptcy. Scarcity protects the treasury so generosity can survive. Machiavelli wrote to rulers who had to smile while defending the vault. Appear open, guard the gate. Appear flexible, weld yourself to mission. Appear kind, enforce cost. That is not hypocrisy. That is custody. Let's expose how your old usefulness trained them to treat you like inventory. You answered instantly, so they learned you're on call. You began work before payment, so they learned your calendar is optional. You filled silence with explanations, so they learned to control you with discomfort. You accepted vague scope, so they learned you'll carry their uncertainty for free. You over-delivered in the current window, so they learned to expect more later for less now. Now we correct the math. From now on, instant answers become scheduled replies. Silence becomes your tool, not your fear. Scope becomes stone. Exceeding becomes a future phase, not a present habit. We will make it practical with a weekly cadence that carves scarcity into your calendar. Monday, gate announcement. Publish your 2 windows. Nothing else exists. Openings this week, Tuesday 2, Thursday 10. Tuesday, policy posture. Restate one policy in a decision you already made. Wednesday, asset build. Take the urge to be helpful and turn it into something that compounds. Case study, FAQ with teeth. Pre-recorded process overview that plays only after deposit. Every asset you build today steals oxygen from future boundary tests. Thursday, enforce and end. End one thing early. A drifting call, a scope ghost, a thread that won't die. Endings are sermons. Your nervous system will learn that nothing explodes when you close a door. Friday, raise the floor. Increase one minimum: your rate, your deposit percentage, your scope clarity, your lead qualification. Scarcity is a floor you keep lifting when your fear wants to crawl back down. You ask for a mantra that keeps your hands steady under heat. Say it before you respond. Say it after they push. You're still worried about reputation. Wear these words like armor. People who loved your softness will go hungry. People who love outcomes will find you. Now the part that will sting. Usefulness is often a mask for fear. You were helpful so you didn't have to be scarce. Scarcity risks being disliked. Scarcity risks losing the wrong client today to gain the right market tomorrow. Your stomach will complain. That's withdrawal. You're detoxing from being needed. Breathe through it. Choose standards over relief. Let's practice the hardest micro move in scarcity: holding the silence after a decision. You will say, "We start after funds clear," and then count 5 seconds with your tongue pressed to the roof of your mouth. Everything in you will itch to justify. Don't. Silence is the part of your sentence that lands. If they fill it with protest, you don't debate. You repeat your law. If they insist, you end. If they leave, you just learned who was nourished by your usefulness and allergic to your power. Yes, you will lose the ones that require you to be cheap, fast, and borderless. Losing these is not loss, it is pruning. Scarcity turns a crowded, low-value garden into a smaller, richer orchard. In a month, your calendar will be quieter and your numbers heavier. Quiet isn't danger. Quiet is control. Now we burn the 5 phrases that will never leave your mouth again. Just following up. Sorry to bother. Quick question. I think maybe. If that makes sense. Each one is a receipt for weakness. This is not cosplay. This is law. Law lives in calendars, contracts, and behaviors. If your calendar lies, your contracts won't save you. If your behavior shake, your words won't matter. Scarcity is a religion of behavior. Worship by enforcement. Last piece for part 1, the scarcity equation you will write at the top of your week. Scarcity equals constraint, consistency, consequence. Constraint without consistency is theater. Consistency without consequence is suggestion. Consequence without constraint is cruelty. You will constrain access, windows, constrain scope, stone, constrain speech, short. You will be consistent even when you're tired. You will attach consequences when the line is tested. Fees, forwards, endings. Not to harm people, to protect results. And yes, you can still be warm. Warmth behind a gate becomes precious. Warmth sprayed everywhere is weather no one notices. Be generous, on your terms, to the aligned, on the schedule you chose. Then disappear. Scarcity makes your presence a signal again. This is the first turn, from infinitely useful to deliberately scarce. You will feel the room resist for a week. Then it will adjust. They'll teach each other how to treat you. That's the profit. That's the point. You're going to install the pricing architecture and language that converts scarcity into gravity. How to set numbers that don't shake, how to speak decisions that don't bend, and how to make every no increase demand. Watch closely. You don't raise your value by screaming it. You raise it by structuring it. Power isn't in the number you say. It's in the way the number sits inside a system that cannot be talked down. You asked for the architecture. Here it is. Cold, boring, unshakable. 4 pillars. Floor, frames, filters, follow through. Floor protects you from panic. Frames control the conversation. Filters protect the calendar. Follow through makes your legend. Get this right, and scarcity stops being a mood. It becomes gravity. Start with the floor. If your minimum is fog, your price is a rumor. You choose a non-negotiable minimum, NNM, a number that makes you calm, a number under which you do not exist. Write it down, not in a journal, in your opening line. 4 words that change your spine. Your floor will feel arrogant when you first say it. That's the sound of your nervous system grieving its old approval addiction. Raise the floor quarterly. Confidence follows enforcement like a shadow, not the other way around. Now frames. Most negotiations are theater designed to drag you away from your floor. You stop acting. You start arranging. Price frames that do the lifting for you. Anchor frame. You go first with a number, higher than you can comfortably hold. Not to manipulate, to show the range of seriousness. Then you move only in scope, never in rate. Binary frame. Every request becomes a trade. Money is a mirror. Make them look. Outcome frame. Stop selling the hours. Sell the finish line. We don't sell time. Outcomes invite haggling, respect. Policy frame. You speak price like weather. No apology, no preamble. Silence frame. After you state the number, you do not rescue them. Silence is the part of your sentence that lands. Let them pay the invoice in discomfort instead of your words. Scripts that carry your frame when your courage wobbles. When they ask for a discount. I don't discount. We can reduce scope to match your budget, or keep scope at my rate. When they say it's close, close is a scope conversation, not a price one. When they ask for your best price, this is my price. When they pitch exposure, exposure doesn't clear invoices. When they say everyone else is cheaper, our standard isn't crowdsourced. Filters are where your usefulness dies and your power is born, because this is where no becomes automatic. Filters you install this week. Gate filter. No signer, no meeting. If the person on the call can't authorize funds, the call does not happen. Budget filter. You ask for the number before you speak about process. If they won't say, they aren't ready. You are not a museum of free explanations. Scope filter. Everything outside the written outcome is an add-on or phase 2. That's phase 2 or an add-on. Rush filter. Speed exists at triple. You don't mumble it, you publish it. Speed is available at the rush rate. Window filter. 2 weekly openings, published every Monday. Everything else is closed. Missed appointments move to the back. Reschedules pay. If they cannot answer, their yes is fake. You price fake yeses by never scheduling them. Follow-through is where your power becomes rumor. Not because you brag, because you repeat a few boring moves until the world warns itself about you. Your follow-through checklist. Say the price once. Hold 5 seconds of silence. Repeat the binary if pushed. End when the law is mocked. Send 1 email with 1 decision, 1 link, 1 date. Never chase. Replace chasing with asset building. Publish outcomes. Raise the floor. That's it. Do this for 30 days and watch the oxygen in your calendar change texture. Now let's make every no increase demand. They lose the deal, then they lose their posture. Not you. Your no is a marketing event. The after no protocol. Acknowledge. No defense. No diary. Clarify position. If cost remains the priority, X is a fit. If outcomes become the priority, reach out. Withdraw presence. No follow-ups. No proof drops. Vanish into work. Publish outcome elsewhere. Quietly, without names. Show a result delivered under your law. Increase the floor by a notch. Not out of spite, out of data. Your no revealed a market you won't target. Aim higher. Reappear only when your existence creates discomfort. When your success is a reminder that their no had a price. No gloating, no I told you. Existence is enough. That's how no becomes gravity. You convert refusal into rumor, rumor into respect, respect into rate. Let's design an offer suite that bakes scarcity into each layer so alignment has somewhere to land. 3 tiers, walls around each. Tier 1, the gate. A paid diagnostic or strategy call. Short, high signal, clear deliverable. No ongoing obligations. It filters for seriousness and funds the time you used to give away. Script. The diagnostic is X. We map the objective, risk, and scope. Tier 2. The core. The main engagement. Outcome-based, milestone-based payments. Non-refundable deposit. Change order policy with teeth. Script. Deposit of Y secures the window. 2 milestones. Changes are add-ons. Tier 3. The vault. Limited high-touch access. At a retainer that makes mishandling you painfully. Capped seats. Prerequisite, successful Tier 2. You don't sell the vault to people who haven't respected the gate. Script. The retainers are invite-only after delivery. Seats are capped. Short. Stone. No fluff. If they can't live with the page, they can't live with your work. Now, policy language that converts scarcity into clarity. Steal it. Use it as is. Communication. Decisions via email. 1 weekly meeting. No retroactive discounts. Spoken like someone who's been worshiping usefulness. Rigid is the skeleton that allows muscle to move. Now fine-tune your mouth. I think maybe. Sorry for the delay. I can be flexible if needed. Kill them. Silence after. You want to convert scarcity into felt presence, control your tempo. Tempo tactics. Speed 20 to 30% slower when challenged. Lower your pitch by a note on the first word. End sentences with stillness. Count 5 after decisions. Ask noun-heavy questions with flat endings. Try these on live fire. Low anchor. We can reduce scope to match your number or keep scope at my rate. If they ask why, you do not defend. Process fishing. We discuss goals, constraints, budget. Silence. Let the truth do the sorting. Urgency bomb. Speed exists at the rush rate. Repeat it like weather until the storm tires. Scope smuggle. That's phase 2 or an add-on. Public probe. That's incorrect. The decision stands. If repeated, we're off mission. Old friends and family asking for help. I don't do unscoped favors. Now metrics, because feelings lie. Measure 5 numbers weekly. Waitlist length. If scarcity is working, your next opening pushes out. Goal, growth that scares the old you. Floor integrity. Percent of deals at or above your minimum. Goal, 100%. Exception ratio. Number of exceptions that were priced versus free. Goal, all priced. Silence count. Decisions followed by 5 seconds of quiet. Goal, daily. After no conversions. New inquiries that cite your outcomes or policies. Goal, weekly. You're being captured. Correct in 24 hours. Raise the floor. Add a clause. Close a corridor. End a thread. Publish a result. Now the drills, because talent fails under adrenaline. Training doesn't. Drill 1. Price pause. Say your number out loud once a day. Hold 5 seconds of silence. Teach your throat to believe your hand. Drill 2. Gate announce Mondays. Publish 2 openings every Monday for 4 weeks. No exceptions. If you must make one, price it. Drill 3. Binary reflex. When anyone asks for anything, answer with a binary first. Force trade-offs before stories. Drill 4. Ending reps. And one thing early each week when the law is mocked. Your nervous system will start to love you. Drill 5. Deposit discipline. Refuse to put anything on your calendar without a posted deposit for 30 days. Let's apply this to 3 common arenas where usefulness has been stealing from you. Freelance consulting. Stop pitching in essays. Pitch in constraints. Diagnostic. X. Core. Y for outcome A by date B. Vault. Invite only after delivery. Founders. Stop doing free discovery with interested investors or partners. If any blur, you leave. Your scarcity preserves your runway. Operators and employees. Your power isn't in staying late for free. It's in making your time expensive to misuse. State bandwidth and trade-offs as law. I'll take scope B if C dies. Don't threaten, decide. If they moralize, you don't debate halos. Personal. Your warmth is a gift behind a gate. You will be accused of changing. You will be accused of being cold. There will be a night where you almost break. Someone you like will ask for a quick task. Your old usefulness will claw at your throat. Exhale. Low note. Silence. Say it until your hands stop shaking. Then do nothing. Let the room adjust. Whispers are free marketing. You bought them with endings. Last, we weld price to posture with one small ceremony that changes everything. The offer read. Before you send any proposal, read it out loud at half speed, as if it's already true. Then remove one apology line. Then raise one number by 10%. Send. Walk away from the computer for 10 minutes. Your body will try to buy relief with edits. Don't. This is how usefulness dies, not in a speech, in a sequence. Floor set. Frames held. Filters enforced. Follow-through repeated. Scarcity is not starvation. It's selection. It's choosing the rooms worth breathing in, then charging them for oxygen. We will weaponize your scarcity in live fire, turning public tests, private bait, and social guilt into exits, upgrades, and a waiting list. Then close, with the command that will divide your old world from the new one, exactly in the style your competitors can't stop copying. Watch closely. Right now, your usefulness is a leash. They tug it with quick favors, with one last thing, with, we're so close, can you just? You move. They learn. Your spine becomes service. Hook in. Because what you're about to build is not a personality. It's a perimeter. This is where scarcity stops being theory and turns into rooms that change when you enter. Not because you're loud, because you're limited. We'll run live fire, executive ambushes, public tests, family guilt, old client nostalgia. You will leave each scene with one clean sentence and a calendar that respects you. First arena, the ambush, with a smile. They slide a number across the table. Low, friendly tone. Old you performs. New you arranges. Exhale. Drop your pitch. We can reduce scope to match your number or keep scope in my rate. Silence. If they wave the clock like a knife, urgency doesn't change terms. Rush exists for work, not equity. If they pull rank, no signer, no meeting. Deposit before calendar. Then you stop talking. Price is the teacher, not paragraphs. Second arena, the procurement labyrinth. 8 faces on Zoom, no signer. They want your process before payment. Fox first. Silence after each. If the signer is fog, we discuss goals and constraints now. You leave. Endings educate longer than decks. Third arena, internal politics. A colleague triangulates around you. Side DMs. You do not carry decisions into hallways. Decisions resolve at the source. If they keep whispering, you cancel. Silence is a scalpel. Cut once. Fourth arena, the nostalgia trap. An old client leans on history. We go way back. That's phase 2 or an add-on. If they say you used to be more flexible, you don't argue morality. Then you shut your mouth. Fifth arena, the manufactured emergency. They fail upstream. They want you to bleed. Speed is available at the rush rate. Repeat like weather. Weather doesn't argue. It announces. Sixth arena, the public test. A peer corrects you loudly. The moderator smiles. The crowd watches. That's incorrect. The decision stands. If interruption returns, we're off mission. Stand. Leave. Exits are sermons. Rooms remember exits more than monologues. Seventh arena, family and friends. I don't do unscoped favors. I'm available Tuesday at 2 or Thursday at 10. Love with a gate is still love. Guilt is just free access wearing a saint's mask. They want revisions before commitment. If answers blur, advice follows allocation. Advice without allocation is entertainment. You don't audition for people who won't buy tickets. Ninth arena, boss leverage. Take on more scope. What metric and date earn the title? If blurry, I'll accept with title and comp or keep current scope. You don't threaten, you decide. Calm is the weapon. 10th arena, the public compliment that hides a hook. Thank you. Compliment accepted, frame intact. Now we weaponize the quietest part of scarcity, absence. Absence is not ghosting, it's pricing. You withdraw from unscoped threads. You decline calls without signers. You route changes to add-ons. You post 2 windows weekly. You say less. You disappear after decisions. Absence teaches what speeches never could. Your oxygen was never free. You don't announce exits, you enforce entrances. Openings are Tuesday at 2 or Thursday at 10. Gate placed, noise removed. Let's lock in your rumor engine, the flywheel that turns scarcity into demand while you sleep. Flywheel. End clean, publish outcomes, raise floor, announce gates, enforce silence, repeat. End clean. No diary, no warnings, clean cuts. Publish outcomes, short, stone. No names, no heat. Raise floor, quarterly. Always by rule, never by mood. Announce gates, 2 windows, Monday morning, public. Enforce silence, 5 seconds after decisions, hours after emails, days on your calendar. Repeat, until the market corrects its tone when it knocks. You want bait you should set on purpose. Set bait that rewards respect and filters everyone else. Bait 1, paid diagnostic. Short, valuable, non-refundable. It pays the time you used to give away and reveals who's serious. The diagnostic is X. Map objective, risk, scope. Bait 2, clear how to work with me. 1 page, 3 tiers, no fluff. If they can't live with the page, they can't live with the work. Bait 3, FAQ with teeth. 10 lines of law. Deposit before calendar. No signer, no meeting. Rush is triple. Changes are add-ons. 2 windows only. Cancellation forfeits deposit. No retroactive discounts. 1 decision channel. 1 weekly call. Outcomes over hours. Link this. Enforce this. Sleep better. Bait 4, wait list. A simple form. Scarcity is honest scheduling, not coyness. When the opening arrives, you don't beg. You invite. At your rate. Bait 5, case study timeline. Show the clean path you reward. Scope, deposit, window, delivery, result. People who want drama will self-select out. You will lose the kind that feed on your softness. Good. There are only 2 types of rooms. Those priced by your usefulness and those bent by your scarcity. Choose. Let's put a strobe light on your nervous system with the underheat reboot. When your throat starts reaching for because, do this. Exhale for 6. Drop pitch 1 note. Hold 5 seconds. If they push, repeat once. If they mock, end. We're off mission. Recoveries matter more than perfection. You will slip. You will over-explain. You will answer late DMs to feel needed. Neutralize. Raise the floor, add the clause, close the corridor, end the thread, publish an outcome. If you wait, relapse becomes culture. Culture is heavier than courage. Fix it fast. We'll tune your written voice, because scarcity bleeds on screens first. Body is bone. 1 decision, 1 link, 1 date. No hedges. No emoji to bribe acceptance. Send. Do not reopen the thread for comfort. Metrics end mythology. Keep tracking. Waitlist length. Floor integrity. Exception ratio. Priced versus free. Silence count. After no conversions. 2 dips in a row, you're being captured, not kind. Correct within 24 hours. Now we run the gauntlet. 3 stacked scenes that used to own you. Exhale. Speed is available at the rush rate. They plead team spirit. They push price. We can reduce scope to match your number or keep scope at my rate. Silence. If they dramatize, and we're off mission. Stack 2. Public probe, process fishing, crowd play. What's your process? We discuss goals, constraints, budget. If they correct you loudly, that's incorrect. The decision stands. Stand. Leave. Thank you. Rush review exists. If they can't, you don't bleed. To prove you care. You protect tomorrow's mission. You are useful on schedule. Powerful always. You still want lines you can say without shaking. Rush rate or standard date. That's phase 2 or an add-on. We'll tie this back to the man who kept getting misquoted for memes. Machiavelli wrote for rulers who had to smile while protecting the treasury, appear flexible while guarding the throne, and act generous while preserving the law. Your treasury is your time and terms. Guard it with gates. Your throne is your mission. Guard it with endings. Your law is your standard. Guard it with silence and a calendar. Appear approachable. Be gated. Appear generous. Be scheduled. Appear flexible. Be welded to outcome. You want to be loved? Be useful. You want to be powerful? Be scarce. Scarcity isn't greed. It's governance. It is how generosity survives. It is how outcomes happen. It is how calm pays. Here's the final ceremony that will divide your old world from the new one. Tonight, write your floor. Write your 2 windows. Write your 5 laws. Deposit before calendar. No signer, no meeting. Rush is triple. Changes are add-ons. 2 sentences max per decision. Tomorrow morning, publish the windows. Price 1 exception and 1 drifting thread. Post 1 outcome. In 7 days, your calendar will be quieter, your numbers will be heavier, your chest will be calmer. Quiet is not failure. Quiet is the sound of gates. They warn each other before they knock. Good. Let the world teach your law for you. You are not colder. You are clearer. You are stingy. You are sovereign. You don't need to be everywhere to be unforgettable. You need to be scarce enough that your absence is felt and your presence is priced. Again, carry that into every room. Watch the room rearrange. Final command. Subscribe if you're ready to become the kind of person they can't rush, can't bargain down, and can never access without earning it. Because this isn't self-help. This is war.